My family called me just a free babysitter, so I sued them for $100,000. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible true stories. Drop a comment below. What's the most shocking betrayal you've ever witnessed? Share your thoughts with our community. Love, support, and having each other's backs. But that fairy tale died the moment my mom looked me straight in the eye and said, "Let's be honest, Sarah. You're just good for babysitting Jessica's kids. That's about it." Those words didn't just sting, they confirmed what I'd felt for years. I wasn't the daughter who got praised for her marketing degree from Ohio State. I wasn't the one they bragged about at church. I was just the free babysitter. The backup plan. The one they called when my older sister Jessica needed her me time. At 26, I should have been building my career, dating, living my life. Instead, I was changing diapers and making mac and cheese for kids who weren't even mine. While Jessica posted Instagram stories from wine tastings in Napa Valley, I was at Chuck E. Cheese with her 3 kids, pretending everything was fine. But that Tuesday night in March, as I sat in my cramped studio apartment in Columbus, watching Jessica's youngest cry because she missed her mom who was finding herself at a yoga retreat in Sedona, something inside me snapped. I opened my laptop and started typing. Not a journal entry, not an angry text, a spreadsheet, because I was about to show my family exactly what the free babysitter was really worth. Please subscribe and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. It started innocently enough when Jessica had her first baby, little Emma, at 23. I was fresh out of college, still living at home, looking for my first real job in marketing. "Sarah, honey, could you just watch Emma for a few hours?" Mom asked sweetly. "Jessica needs to run some errands, and you're so good with babies." A few hours turned into entire weekends. Weekends turned into me moving my whole schedule around Jessica's social calendar. I missed job interviews because Jessica had a hair appointment. I skipped dates because she wanted to go to Topgolf with her friends. I even turned down a marketing position in Chicago because Mom guilt-tripped me, but who will help with Emma? Then came baby number 2, little Jake. "It's just temporary," Dad assured me. "Until Jessica gets back on her feet." But Jessica's idea of getting back on her feet involved joining a CrossFit gym, taking pottery classes, and going on girls' trips to Miami. By the time baby number 3 arrived, sweet little Lily, I had become their full-time, unpaid nanny. I knew their bedtime routines better than their own mother. I was the one who took Jake to his first day of preschool while Jessica was getting highlights at the salon. The worst part, everyone acted like I should be grateful. "You're so lucky you get to spend time with the kids," Aunt Carol would say at family dinners. Not everyone gets to be the fun aunt. Fun aunt. I was doing everything a parent does, except I went home to my empty apartment while Jessica got all the Mother's Day cards and praise. The breaking point came on a Friday evening in March. I had just landed my dream job at a marketing firm downtown. After 3 years of struggle, I finally got my foot in the door. My start date was Monday, and I was spending the weekend preparing, buying professional clothes, and mentally preparing for this huge step in my career. That's when Jessica showed up at my door with all 3 kids and 4 suitcases. "Emergency girls trip to Cancun," she announced, not asked. "Brad surprised me with tickets. We leave tonight, back Wednesday. You're a lifesaver, Sarah." "Jessica, I start my new job Monday." "I can't." "Come on, don't be dramatic. It's just a few days. Mom and Dad are visiting Grandma Betty in Florida, so you're the only option." Before I could protest, she was gone. Just like that. No diapers, no formula for Lily, no emergency contacts. Just me, 3 kids under 5, and a job I was about to lose before I even started. I called my new boss, Mr. Henderson, and had to explain why I couldn't come in for my first week. The disappointment in his voice was crushing. "We'll hold the position for now, Sarah, but this doesn't look good." That night, as I walked the floor with a teething baby while the older kids colored on my walls with markers, I realized something. This wasn't love. This wasn't family helping family. This was exploitation, plain and simple. I was 26 years old, and I had never been on a real vacation. I had never had a serious relationship because I was always busy with the kids. I had missed every opportunity that came my way because my family's convenience came first. But not anymore. That night, after finally getting all 3 kids to sleep, I sat down with my laptop and started calculating. 8 years of babysitting, starting when I was 18. I dug through old text messages, emails, and even my high school planner where I had marked, "Watch Emma," in red pen. The numbers were staggering. I had babysat an average of 25 hours per week for 8 years. That's 10,400 hours of childcare. At Columbus's average babysitter rate of $15 per hour, that came to $156,000. But I wasn't done yet. Overnight care because Jessica loved her weekend getaways, $20 per hour for 832 overnight hours. That added another $16,640. Emergency care like the Cancun incident, $25 per hour for 156 last-minute sessions. Another $3,900. But the real kicker was the opportunity cost. The Chicago job I turned down. It paid $15,000 more than anything I could find in Columbus. The networking events I missed. The dates I skipped. The life I put on hold. I settled on a clean $100,000. It seemed fair for 8 years of unpaid labor and a stolen decade of my 20s. I spent the next day creating the most professional invoice of my life. Line items for everything: feeding, bathing, bedtime routines, school pickups, doctor visits, emergency care. I attached screenshots of Jessica's Instagram posts from her various trips, all time-stamped during my babysitting sessions. At the bottom, I wrote, "Payment due within 30 days. Late fees apply." I sent it to Jessica, Mom, and Dad on a Sunday evening. Then I turned off my phone and waited. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, this story is just getting started. Monday morning, my phone had 47 missed calls and 23 voicemails. I listened to them over my morning coffee, and they were exactly what I expected. "Dad, Sarah, this is ridiculous. We're family. You can't charge family." "Mom, honey, I don't understand what's gotten into you. We've always been so close. Why are you being so hurtful?" "Jessica, are you actually insane? I'm not paying you a dime. You're my sister, not some random babysitter." But the calls that hurt the most came from extended family. Somehow word had spread fast. "Cousin Mike, really, Sarah? Charging your own sister? That's pretty low, even for you. Aunt Carol, your parents are heartbroken. How could you do this to them after everything they've done for you? Everything they'd done for me." "Like what?" "Letting me live at home while I worked a minimum wage job because I couldn't afford my own place thanks to all the unpaid babysitting." The breaking point came when Uncle Tom called. "Jessica told me what you're doing. You know what your problem is, Sarah. You're jealous. Jealous that Jessica found a good man and has a family while you're still single and bitter." That's when I knew I had to take this further. I wasn't just dealing with Jessica anymore, I was dealing with an entire family system that saw me as the problem for standing up for myself. I called Jenkins Associates, a law firm downtown that specialized in employment disputes. The receptionist put me through to Lisa Martinez, a young attorney who listened to my story with growing amazement. "Sarah," she said, "you might actually have a case here. There's precedent for family members suing for unpaid domestic labor, especially when there's a pattern of exploitation and documented financial impact." 2 days later, I received a formal response from my family. Not an apology, not a payment, a letter from Dad threatening to cut me off completely if I didn't drop this nonsense immediately. That letter was going straight to my lawyer. Lisa Martinez took my case on a contingency basis after reviewing my documentation. "This is one of the most well-documented cases of family exploitation I've ever seen," she told me. "Your sister essentially treated you like an unpaid employee for 8 years. We filed the lawsuit 3 weeks later. The local news picked up the story. Local woman sues family for $100,000 in unpaid babysitting fees." The comments section was brutal, but I didn't care anymore. I was done being the family doormat. The court date was set for June 15th, a Tuesday that would change everything. Jessica hired her own lawyer, some guy named Robert Pierce who specialized in frivolous lawsuits. His strategy was simple: paint me as a vindictive, jealous sister who was trying to destroy the family. But Lisa was ready. She had 8 years of evidence, including Jessica's social media posts showing her on trips while I was babysitting. Text messages where she demanded I cancel my plans for her convenience. My employment records showing missed opportunities. Bank statements proving I never received payment. Medical records from when I injured my back lifting Jake and couldn't afford proper treatment. The day before the trial, Mom came to my apartment. She looked older, more tired than I'd ever seen her. "Sarah, please," she begged. "Don't do this to our family. We can work something out." "Mom, I tried to work something out for 8 years. I tried setting boundaries, I tried saying no, I tried explaining how this was affecting my life. Nobody listened. But we're family. Family doesn't exploit each other, Mom. Family doesn't call you worthless except for free labor. Family doesn't threaten to cut you off when you finally stand up for yourself." She left crying. I almost felt bad. Almost. The next morning, I put on my best suit and walked into that courthouse ready to fight for every single dollar they owed me. The courtroom was smaller than I expected, but it felt like the most important room in the world. Jessica sat across from me with her lawyer, avoiding eye contact. Mom and Dad were in the gallery, looking like they'd rather be anywhere else. Lisa presented our case methodically. 8 years of documented exploitation. 10,400 hours of unpaid labor. A young woman's career derailed by family manipulation. The evidence was overwhelming. When Jessica took the stand, she tried to play the victim. Your Honor, Sarah volunteered to help. She lived at home rent-free. She acted like she enjoyed spending time with my children. But under cross-examination, Lisa destroyed her. Ms. Johnson, is it true that you went on 23 out-of-state trips while your sister provided free childcare? I don't know the exact number. Is it true that you once told your sister she couldn't attend a job interview because you had a nail appointment? That was one time, and it was an important appointment. According to these text messages, you used the phrase, "you owe me," when asking for childcare. What did your sister owe you? Jessica's lawyer objected, but the damage was done. When Dad took the stand, he made everything worse. Your Honor, Sarah was never really going anywhere in life anyway. She wasn't cut out for a high-pressure career. Babysitting was probably the best use of her time. The courtroom went silent. Even the judge looked shocked. After 3 hours of testimony, Judge Williams delivered his verdict. This court finds that the defendant Jessica Johnson did exploit the plaintiff's labor over an 8-year period, creating an implied contract through repeated requests and expectations of free childcare services. While family members often help each other, the systematic nature of this arrangement, combined with the plaintiff's documented financial losses and the defendant's dismissive attitude toward her contributions, constitutes a clear case of unjust enrichment. The court awards the plaintiff $67,500 in damages, plus court costs. Not the full $100,000, but enough. Enough to prove my point. Enough to buy my freedom. As I walked out of that courthouse, Jessica finally looked at me. I hope you're happy, she said. You've destroyed our family. No, Jessica, I replied. I've finally found my worth. I used the money to start my own marketing consultancy. Business is booming, and I've never been happier. Last month, Jessica texted asking if I could help out with the kids for the weekend. I sent her an invoice for $500. She hasn't texted back. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more stories, and let me know in the comments, would you have sued your family too?